Awesome. Okay, so tell us a little bit about you. Start off easy.
Yeah. So I've been DJing for, let's see, I think I started, well, so DJing is kind of tied into like my music. So I've been doing music since I was like 15 or something, like every other fucking EDM obsessed like teenager in the fucking 2015 era. They were like, I think I can do this. I think this is an easy thing I can do. So, find a way to get FL Studio for free and just mess around with shit. And I was doing that for a few years. And then I think in 2018, I switched to Ableton. Best decision I've ever made. And then I think the year later, I actually started DJing for the first time. Previously, like I could do like I would make mixes and shit like in FL, so I kind of understood like how a mix is supposed to go, like what you need to do a mix and everything, and then just actually buying the equipment was the only thing that I was needing to do. Started DJing in VR 2020, and nice. I basically haven't stopped doing that since.
That's awesome. Very, very cool. So you getting into music production, I think that's really interesting. Talking about that, it's funny to see everybody has their DAW of choice, right? And it's always a meme to hate on FL. Why Ableton?
I mean, I don't hate FL. I don't hate FL necessarily. I think there's a lot of really cool shit you can do in FL compared to Ableton. I think it's prettier than Ableton because Ableton is very much like you look at it and it's just gray and there's no color at all.
Yeah.
And it is very much like, I think for me, what kind of drew me into it was a lot of like the stock effects that Ableton has, because they are fucking insane. Like OTT on its own is one reason to like get Ableton, but you can get a free plugin for that if you don't have Ableton. What originally, like, I think it was just the workflow of Ableton was just so much easier to kind of go by than in FL. I feel like some people might disagree with me on that though, but for me, like, I spent, like, let's see, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, like, 4 years, like, not really doing anything. And then my first year, really, of getting into Ableton, I made one song, and then made a remix, and then made another song, and then actually just have been able to be productive through Ableton instead of being in FL.
Awesome. That's interesting. I think that actually releasing things and actually finishing a project is shockingly hard when trying to get into a new field.
I mean, with what I'm doing now, like with my Husky in a Forest project, like I haven't released anything yet. Like, I guess technically I have, because like I had people DMing me because I was featured on a beat battle video from Bishu. I don't know if you know who he is.
Yeah. Yeah. I love Bishu.
I was featured in one of his videos. Sweet. And awesome. People DM'd me because it was the challenge was there was this guy that posted a prompt basically, which was like a genre that he had in a dream called Hit 'em, and it's 212 BPM, 5/4 time signature with distorted sound design.
The 5/4 is cursed.
Yeah, so
that's wild.
I did that. Not really. I did 5/4 and then 112, but I made it like a lot more chill. But he still featured it in the video, and I had a bunch of people DMing me like, "Yo, dude, I fucking love this. Is this like, do you have this released anywhere?" And I was like, "No, give me like 20 minutes." So I just like extended it a little bit, changed it for the second drop, and then I guess that's my official first release. But like,
that's awesome.
Yeah, like actually trying to figure stuff out for songs. Like I have so many songs that I have like basically done, but I like nitpick everything, and like I listen to it, and I'm like, there's something here that is so I need to add, and I just don't know what it is. Like I have this one drum and bass song that and like it's nearly done. Like it is so close to being finished, but there's just a little bit of extra sauce that needs to be added to it for it to be a full meal. And I added like a secondary melody recently that kind of works a little bit. I'm still kind of on the fence about it, but yeah, actually like releasing stuff and like getting all of that sorted is so I wouldn't even say like stressful. It's more of just like, oh god, I mean, I guess stressful actually is a great word to put it. But I don't know. I'm such a perfectionist, and I can never be satisfied with my own product until I think, okay, this is ready, and I need to stop doing that because I have a lot of shit that is basically done, that is ready for release.
That's hard. I mean, that's really difficult. Just that feeling of is it perfect? Is it ready to go proper?
Because one thing that I do a lot is like, especially with this new project, I'm really wanting to focus hard on like branding. So like,
oh sure,
obviously I have this character,
I love the sweatshirt.
purple
it's dope.
Husky thing. Yeah, I definitely can't use this. This is copyrighted material.
Oh,
but like, like have this like build off of like, like have one style, because I have like a bunch of styles that I like doing. Like I have kind of like a more chilled out, relaxed style. I have a glitchy, like glitch hop funk inspired, like, Grizz, Sodown, people like that. And then I have kind of like my melodic drum and bass or like other stuff that kind of isn't exactly funky. And I kind of want to build a like kind of universe out of those three things and have like each like kind of like music style have its own character. So like the funky bass kind of stuff will probably be like this. The more melodic like drum and bass, dubstep, or like house music would be like some other character or something like that. And that is going to take a lot of time to figure out exactly what I want, and also a lot of money, which I don't have.
That's totally fair. That's reasonable. It's interesting to talk about persona. We have Mbex comes in and does a lot of our does some DJ classes with us, and he was just talking about that recently. Mm-hmm. He does in-person DJing, and that's how he got his start. And he was talking about like your brand, coming up with your identity, coming up with a good DJ name. Right, like all those little things. Because
like part of DJing and like being someone that's not like I think producers are often like there's two different types. You have like the producer who's a successful musician and goes around touring and all that shit, and then you just have like the guy who just likes to make music and doesn't really do anything. That's like kind of more your hip hop producers, your producers for pop artists and stuff. Like there's obviously like well-known ones like Pharrell and like whoever the fuck Taylor Swift's producer is. I forget what Jack Antonoff, I think that's his name. I know they're well-known people, but like they're not selling out arenas and shit. But then you have people like Subtronics, Marshmello, all those big name like producers and DJs. They have like a set brand, like Subtronics. He has more of like a like weird monster goopy guys. You have Marshmello, which is Marshmello, like Ganja White Knight has like the Mr. Wobble and like the cool animated stuff that they have. Grizz has like his bear. Like, having a set identity to your brand is something that's super, super, super important. And I think for the longest time I didn't realize that, and I think now I realize it, and that's why like I kind of ditched my old name. Like I've gone through way too many, but like I think switching to Husky in a Forest sounds fucking cool. Yeah, and like I can actually do a lot of. So I've gone by Husky for years now. Like I think I just chose that name randomly when I was doing motion design in like 2015, 2016, and I just kind of used that ever since. And then the in a forest part, my ex-girlfriend, I don't want to dox her name or anything, but she very much likes foresty things. She very much likes nature and shit like that, and really inspired me with that kind of shit. And so I just added the in the forest part to my name because I was really getting into like very like down tempo, like trippy sound design. Oh, sure. And I feel like a lot of the like, when I think of that type of... Oh, Jesus Christ. Ignore my leg. I don't know what it's doing. It's okay. Technical difficulties are part of the game, part of the experience. Yeah, what time is it? But... Oh, fuck, what was I saying? So like down-tempo... Like, I think a lot of like the imagery people use for like down-tempo music is like... forest landscapes or like these really cool like just like nature inspired shit. Like whenever I think of like, there's this one really good down tempo experimental album that came out a few years ago by BT. It's called The Secret Language of Trees. One of my fucking favorite albums. It's like the sound design in that is so crisp. It's so good. So I think that's kind of where I got like the last part for in a forest for, instead of it just being Husky, because I think there's already a guy called Husky that makes music.
Oh, sure.
And it's also vague as shit. Husky in a forest sounds kind of cool,
Yeah.
like it actually has a bit of like, oh, like that sounds kind of interesting. And then
it's
like
memorable.
with that I can like add lore to like certain things about it, like think about some cool shit, and also just like have cool artwork to go behind it so it's recognizable instead of it just being like another copy paste like things like record labels or like other people do. Like I think one small rant, one thing that pisses me off a lot about like album art is just how like throwaway people will be with it. Like the album cover, even for like singles and stuff like on streaming, that's kind of what drives you in to think like, oh, this looks like a cool song. It's got like a thick ass album cover.
Yes.
Like, you'll click on it. So like, I feel like just having like a basic, like, flat color background, logo, name of song, maybe some like other design element here or there. It's like, yeah, you have a cover, but like, what does it really mean? Like the cover plays in part to the story as well. Like think of some of the best album covers there ever is. To Pimp a Butterfly, Kendrick Lamar. That album cover tells you a story in itself. And then like you listen to the album and it's like this, like you cannot separate the cover from the artwork. Like Kendrick is a great example of somebody who knows how to like have a cover for his for his project and have it make sense with the music. So like Good Kid, Mad City, it's like, you have the one of them where it's a young Kendrick with his family, and then the other one is his mom's van that he uses throughout the story of the album. Obviously, To Pimp a Butterfly, you have that one. Damn, like you have like two versions of that as well, and both sides of it show a story of a certain Kendrick. And then it's just like he amazes me with what he can do with his album covers. But even like outside of that, like Ganja White Knight's a great example of like their whole branding with Mr. Wobble, Dark Wobble, and all that shit is so cool. And each of their album covers are so well designed. It's insane.
I don't think I've seen them,
but
the album covers, that is.
They're great. I'd look up Ganja White Knight. They're awesome. They released their album Sprouted this year. Really good. I cannot get enough of 2 songs from that, and they are fucking great. But one of my favorite personal projects that they've did, it's called Hybrid Distillery. It's super fucking cool. There's a lot of like down-tempo-y kind of songs. Sometimes the songs might pick up a little bit of energy. Some of them are a bit more dubsteppy and wobbly, but like that one is all around also really solid.
Nice. Very cool. Yeah, no, I can definitely see the album art thing. Like I do a lot of song hunting for new tracks, and seeing just like some AI generated slop or something as the album art. I'm like, ooh, I don't really want to listen.
I refuse to listen to any artwork that has AI generated or like music with AI generated album covers. I sometimes make an exception depending on if the song is very good.
Right.
Like the Secret Language of Trees album, the cover art is not AI generated, but there's a video with the full mix. And that entire video is just an AI generated, like, like those like visuals that kind of like keeps like endlessly scrolling.
Sure.
And you can tell it's AI because like each like half frame is like something is moving and like other stuff is changing, and it's like
you get artifacting in it.
Yeah, like because like that type of effect is super common in like trippy visuals where it's like the endless loop of like zooming in and like it like
sure,
there's shit that happens in those endless loops. That is cool because all of that is original artwork.
Yeah.
Like, and I remember seeing those from like 2007. Like,
yeah, it speaks to something interesting. Oh, sorry, Foxy, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, take it. I've been hogging the spotlight.
I was gonna say, you listed off quite a few inspirations when it comes to your music production. But as far as DJing, do you have a particular mentor? What brought you to DJing? Anyone in particular that inspired you?
So for DJing, it was more of just kind of like, it was something I wanted to do. I never really had, like, when I first started, it was never like, I never had like, I want to be exactly like this DJ. Because I think at the time I wasn't like listening to mixes at all. It was more of just like the idea of DJing sounded fun.
Sure.
As I've progressed a bit, that's kind of changed to just seeing how certain people DJ themselves. Like, Grizz is a great example of somebody who not only does really good sets, but something unique with it. He plays his saxophone on a lot of his songs because he plays sax on his songs anyways. I've listened to like one or two Ganja White Night sets, and their sets are really cool. They have like a full live setup and shit. But just I mean, Daily Bread as well is another one. He'll like make beats on the fly.
Nice.
He's really cool. But I don't know. Just seeing some DJs just in their craft is so cool, especially like producers who like all the stuff that they do is their own original work. Like it's really interesting. And when I was working at a nightclub, I worked on tech, so I would be running visuals for concerts, and we had a lot of big name, producers and DJs come in, and like working directly with them and like figuring out like, this is what you're going to do with your set. Like, how do you want me to represent like visually what we could be doing? And thankfully I'm like on a good wavelength where I get it. If I'm giving like extremely specific like directions, that's kind of a pain in the ass, but I think I only ever had that happen once, and it really wasn't that bad. And he was still vague as hell about it. But like some of my favorite times, like seeing DJs just do their shit, is when you can tell they're just like vibing the fuck out. And being able to like run visuals alongside that. Like if you're vibing the fuck out while you're vibing the fuck out to that, while they're vibing the fuck out, everybody is going to be vibing the fuck out.
Doing your own VJing seems like an interesting. That's something I've been wanting to consider, but I haven't really tried. I admittedly haven't gone very far down the rabbit hole. But
VJing like is it is a lot like DJing with just a different art form. That's all it really is.
Sure.
Like like DJing is selecting music for people to have a good time to. Visuals are selecting visuals for people to look at. While they're vibing out. Like visuals do matter a lot, I think, which is why like I think having some weird goofy shit can sometimes be kind of cool, but like weird stuff, like people don't want to like see something that's going to make them sad when they're like at a place to like vibe. Like
I'd hope not.
But like I don't know, like DJs that came in with a lot of visuals, like when I was VJing, I loved them way more. Because it's like, oh yes, I could do so much cool shit with this. Like, one of my absolute favorite experiences doing VJing. Do you know who Moody Good is at all?
I don't think so. No.
No. So he's a really, I don't know how big name he is, but like he's really like he's been doing the dubstep shit for a long time. But he came in because he was on tour with, I think, Jet Black. No, not Jet Black. What was it? Blackjack is his name. He's like a trap producer DJ.
Sure.
He was really nice. But they came in, and we were getting ready for the show, and they wanted to talk with me about like how we're gonna do it. So Blackjack, he first talked to me because he was like, I only got 5 visuals, so you could pick some in-house shit if you want. And I was like, okay, what kind of like shit do you like? Looked at me and goes, I just want some gangster shit, dog. Like, and I was like, I don't really know what you mean, but here's some weird cool like spiral-y pointy tentacle thingies. Here's like skull stuff, and he's like, yeah, that's it. And then he told me a story about how the night before in Kansas City, he told the exact same thing to the DJ or to the VJ, and while he was doing that, he was just like, okay, I got some in-house stuff. And then while he was DJing, he looks back and sees like a a skeleton ballerina kind of doing it, and then he like cut the song a little bit. Hey, yo, what the fuck is this shit behind me? Turn it off. But
Surprise.
that was really funny. Yeah, he was awesome. And then when Moody Good came to me, he was the one that had a bunch of visuals. He had a bunch of shit, and he's like, start with like this if you could, and then like maybe halfway through switch to this specific one. And then I was like, okay, man, I got you. And then like a couple of minutes before he gets on, he's like, dude, do whatever the fuck you want. I don't care. I was like, oh, okay. I mean, I'll still use your visuals and shit because I really like them. I'll still use the intro one, but I'll go crazy. Show ends, went great. I go to the green room to, you know, thank them for coming in, talk to them a little bit, hang out. And they were really nice, but I will never forget this, and it's going to be one of my favorite interactions I've ever had with like a, you know, touring deep producer. I go up to Moody Good as they're getting ready to leave. I quickly was like, hey man, really great to, you know, VJ for you tonight. The show went great. It was great working with you. I'd love to work with you again. And then he looks at me, his eyes light up, and he smiles so widely, grabs my hand. Dude, thank you so much. You did so good. Thank you. And I could tell he was flying somewhere because that was not a normal reaction. He was gone somewhere, but he was having a good time. I was like, I don't want to like put disrespect on him because he still was absolutely fun dude to work with, and that interaction like made my night. Like that shit, like I'm never gonna forget that. I remember most of the like very good experiences and the shitty ones while VJing, but like that shit, like especially like that's what like a mentality I want to take over. Like if I actually start, because I have DJed in person before, but I want to get back into it now that I'm like really focused in and actually doing like cool sound design and like for music. Like Foxy's heard a bunch of what I do recently, but like, you know, if I go somewhere to perform that has visuals and shit, I want to talk to the people there, like the tech guys, and be like, hey man, like I really want you to just go full crazy, like do the best you possibly can. I have some visuals here, you can use these, you can use some of the stuff in-house if you want, I don't really mind, but just go crazy and just like develop a relationship with them and like a positive business like mindset, because like I think tech guys that are in that kind of thing, most of them are also DJs and producers. Like you don't just get into that because you're actually interested in how the tech works. Some of them a little bit are because they're fucking nerds, but most of the guys that are VJing and doing lights like want to have a drink while they VJ and do lights because they DJ and they were on stage before the show even started, just testing out the sound system. Oh yeah, of course. You know, you got to make sure those CDJs work. Yeah, like I made that excuse when we set up the stage for Akali. I was just like, I'm just seeing how the stage works. We have a cool new stage here for the night. I'm just making sure the CDJs work conveniently as all the openers are coming in and the bar staff and everyone. It's like I'm just testing, guys. Oh, I just had both of these USBs in my pocket. Oh man, I guess. Oh no. It's a shame that we're listening to some house music right now. Oh, no. But no, like just having a good relationship with like staff at clubs, like whether VR or in person, like that goes a long way, because then you're not known as the asshole who comes in and doesn't pay for their drinks because they have a drink tab or whatever and they tip shitty. Oh, sure. Yeah. Well, developing the personal relationship. No one wants to be known as an asshole. Networking too. I've seen that. That's common advice that a lot of DJs will give for VRC DJing too, which is just like don't show up just for your set and then dip. I mean, it's kind of the same idea. Like network with people, show that you're interested in the scene and the venue, like, and them themselves. For sure. I definitely have been leaning more into like showing up and dipping recently, and I hate to say that because that makes me sound lazy, which don't get me wrong, it is. But I've been doing this since 2020, like before, like during the huge like pop in clubs when they really started. Sure. Like I was like hanging out with Skippy before he officially started Hypothetical. I was hanging around like a bunch of like, you know, Castle in like before Oasis even came by. Like watching all of this kind of come up, and I started doing my networking around then, and I kept doing it and doing it, and then eventually I just hit a point where it's like, bro, everybody knows me already for the most part.
Yeah.
I sound super self-absorbed saying that, but like a good amount of people know who I am, and if they want to, they'll hit me up and be like, hey, I have this event, you want to play? And I'll be like, yeah, sure. And most of the time, like, I'm already, like, by that time, like, I'm getting a little tired or whatever, and just, like, I'll stick around for a little bit, say bye and shit, but then afterwards, I'm like, no, I'm gonna go. Like,
From my side,
I'm to the point now where it's like, I've been here for a while.
For my side, if it means that you're going to have more time producing because we've had, we've known each other for years now, I would rather you play your set and enjoy that and take that energy and go lock yourself back into the production, hobble, because some of the stuff that you have let me listen to, especially lately, absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
No, I've been very confident with a lot of the shit I've been doing recently. Like, yeah, for sure. Appreciate that.
That's awesome. I can appreciate that confidence. Do you? I guess on that point with Foxy, if do you ever come out of a set? Like I haven't really done a whole lot of production. Do you ever come out of a set? But I know that sometimes if I play a set and then I listen back to it, I hear like a double that I wanted to improve or a transition that could have been better. Does it happen with production where you immediately come out and you're just like, I'm going to change this song right now?
All the fucking time. I sent Foxy a song today that I did last night while absolutely faded. And I sent it to her, and then 20 minutes later, I sent her a new version because I didn't like the bass sound I was using. And then also my sample was gone on one spot, so I fixed it.
Nice.
And then added something else onto it. It happens all the time with producing.
I believe it.
If that doesn't happen to you, you're either insane or no other option. Or you're too confident in yourself. Like, don't be cocky. Be cocky, but don't be too cocky. That's like a big thing. I think, you gotta show your cock sometimes. Like,
you gotta have at least a little
show
bit of
off,
ego,
bro.
right?
But don't. Yeah, like you have to have a tiny bit of an ego, and that's a good thing to have. But like, don't oversell yourself. I did it as a joke for a while, and people believed me, and then I was like, I don't want to be that guy.
Yeah, okay, yeah, I could see how that could backfire.
Yeah.
Well, because people eventually started going with it, and people actually were just like gassing me up that much, and I'm like, don't do that, please. I'm good. I know that I'm good, but I don't want to be known as perfect like that. I'm not.
Attitude is a big thing. 100% for DJing, for producing, for any type of performance. You want to have enough confidence and value with yourself where you can go, okay, actually this is pretty good, and I'm going to put this out there and give it to the world, right? But also not the I put two bars together and now I'm a music producer. No. No.
Right.
No. Yeah. You were talking about. Oh, sorry. A little bit of ladies. My side.
No, I kind of forgot what my follow up was going to be.
Oh.
As soon as he was coming out,
I'm really curious about something. I'm really curious about something. You've spoken so much about visuals today and artwork, and I'm wondering if you have times where you see visuals or a piece of artwork and take that and try to transmute it into sound. Like, do you find that you do that?
I've kind of thought about that sometimes. Especially with watching really, cool music videos that are trippy as shit. I'll get small glimpses of a really cool idea, and I'll be like, how do I make this sound like that? Or when I have a very visual mind. I think of a lot of stuff visually. And sometimes when I think about how would I want this to look. I kind of base it off of like some background element or like, you know, some cool sound effects from here or there. Like, I find that like, especially with like down tempo and stuff, having like watery sound effects, some like wind brushing on leaves as like weird percussion sounds really kind of puts you into that mindset of like, you can think of like being able to visualize like something while listening to something. I definitely can take some like thought of, yeah, I want to do that. That sounds cool as shit.
Yeah. Very cool.
Wait a second. Where's my water?
I'll do the
Here it
same.
is. Hydrate. It's important. Everybody, no matter when. If someone tells you to drink water, you fucking do it. Where the fuck is my water? That wasn't it. Oh, it's behind me.
There you go. Oh boy.
I thought I put it on the floor, but it was on my bed.
Yeah, there you go. Any other questions from Discord while we're here? Don't want to hog all the attention. No worries. Cool. No, I think. What are so? I guess as somebody who I've done DJing, and I touched like as you mentioned, like a lot of 15-year-olds, you get Fruity Loops through slightly less than legal means, and you're clicking around, and you're like, oh hey, look, I'm a music producer. I mean, not really, but like you try it out.
Yeah. Like I recently just went back to I guess my first song I ever made. And I listened to it, I'm like, man. Oh my god, this is awful. Because I remember I was really into like the Dead Mouse sound, that kind of progressive house. Like you know the type. It's the type where it is a saw wave that is just filtered out for a chord. That's all it is. And I remember I watched this tutorial on how to get that, and this dude literally like has the second plugin for something you could do in like the most basic possible plugins, even for FL Studio. Yeah. But it was this basic one. I remember downloading it and using it, and then getting inspired by the chord progression that I saw on screen. And then I just kind of wrote something out, and I listened to it again. And I remember the funniest part about it to me is that the drop ends and like I add a crash sound effect and then there's nothing else, and like the chord filter is immediately brought to like 10%, so you just hear like and like there's a point of like I want to say a good 15 seconds where all it is just the filter slowly being risen on the chord. No drums or anything, no effects. It is just like listening to the patch by itself slowly tease you. Oh yeah,
and you can tell when it's only one thing happening. You can hear it, and it sounds well basic, right? Yeah, like you have to have multiple things going on.
It sounds very empty, like nothing's happening. As I've kind of evolved more as a producer since then, I've noticed like I have such a big thing for background sound effects that are like so like not necessary at all, but if you hear it, you won't be able to unhear it.
Yeah.
And I love like panning is one of my favorite things to do, like taking like two different versions of the same percussion loop, adding like a bit of like high end on one, resonating it a little bit, and then setting that to pan 100, having the other layer of the same percussion not as like affected by stuff, pan it about like 30 or so it's still being panned but not as heavily as the other one.
Oh yeah.
And then it creates a really cool effect where like both sounds are playing but they're going two different directions between your like brain.
Oh, that's interesting too. And like, it speaks to like some amount of
doing that kind of stuff like when you don't have a lot of layers either. Like you could do that with like I said, you could do that with two of the same sound, and then you have already two layers. Add maybe 2 layers of chords underneath that, and then like a background element, and then you have now a fuller sound. Yeah. Like having it sound too empty sometimes can work depending on what you're doing, but if it's just like out of I don't know what I'm doing and then not adding anything, it's just no, you need more. More is good, but less is good as well.
You got to find the healthy balance.
More is important, but less is good. I think that's what I was trying to say.
Interesting.
That's a quote.
Yeah,
that's a quote.
That's a good quote.
For people who aren't music producers, and and they're DJing, is there any advice you'd give them on proper panning of tracks?
Interesting.
Because that can be
So
is
that is a good. So my rule. Yeah, so one of my rules of thumb when it comes to like, at least that I try to follow for myself, is like, does it make sense for something to be as affected as it is? And I don't know why my tracking is being so awful tonight.
Classic Pharisee.
But like, would making something switch between your ears as often, or like have one extreme to another, would that make sense musically? So when I think of adding like panning to like an area, I want to have it be like, I want the drums are like, main drums are not going to get it. Maybe like a layer for a clap for delay. Like I'll have like 3 layers for claps. I'll have one that's kind of a bit like snappier, one that's a bit more for like a tail sound, and then another one that would just kind of be for both, or like a pre-shift into the claps. So let's say I want to do it to the one that pans out a little bit, since it has a bit of like an end like whoosh down. So you want to like cut it short a little, but have it make sense. For percussion elements, I pan all the time with my percussion. I don't give a fuck what it is. My percussion's always going to have panning to it. And the reason being is you could add like a lot of layers and have each sound be different, but have them like merge together at once and have it sound like good and not too much. For like chords and sometimes melodies, that can also help depending on how much you want to, like the certain vibe. The vibe is very important. So like panning on something that's very fast and energetic, for how much you want to be in chords doesn't really, it won't do a lot for you. Sustained notes or like very slow pattern notes, doing panning for that can help like immensely. I don't really know other way to put it, but like
Interesting.
It in the end, it just matters about the vibe of the whole song entirely, and then B, like, does it musically make sense?
Sure.
You know, like making it musically make sense is what's important, and doing it for the sake of doing it is just going to sound messy and like really kind of throw off the listener sometimes.
Yeah, that makes sense. Going back to your more is important, but less is more, or less is good.
Yeah, more is important, less is good.
Yeah, that makes sense. Interesting. What are some like I hesitate to just ask the question, like, what's some advice you'd have for somebody who's interested in it but has no idea where to start? It's a very open-ended question, but
I think so. I'll go into DJing first about like that idea, because that's a bit easier for people.
Sure.
I think the perspective you should have when first getting into it and like not knowing where to start, like think about what music you love the most first, and think about how can I share this and have people enjoy it. If it's something super obscure, you might have a bit of a time, but like, you know, say something like, oh, I really like house music. Oh, I really like rap. I really like hip hop. Like, generalize yourself a little bit. You know, it's okay to be broad sometimes. And then kind of figure out, like, I'll stick with house for now. Let's say, oh, I really love house music. So I may listen to some mixes first, you know, try to see, like, what are the basic techniques that you need to know. You don't need to know scratching, throat, like, fade out effects and shit. All you need to know is that, can you mix it in key, and can you make it, like, not messy? That's all you really need to know as a DJ. Can you transition from this song seamlessly to this one and make it make sense? All right, good. If you know how to do that, you're gonna be fine.
There you go.
I think there's, you know, like, playing the DJ game for clout is like, you're not gonna last long. Like a clout chaser for that, because like I've seen it happen a few times, both in person. Yeah, I've seen it a few times in both person and VR. VR, it's a bit harder to see sometimes, because it's, you know, people in VR are already having a persona in general. like in front of them.
Right. Of course.
You know,
Yes.
like, look at me.
Say yes.
But, you know, in person, it's so much easier to see when somebody is just the clout guy.
Sure.
I'll use this as an example. I don't remember his name, so I'm not going to put the guy on blast, but he played for, like, the club that I worked at has this thing called DJ Summit. I've DJed there 4 times now. And basically it's just like a slot exclusively for local DJs, so local or regional DJs. Nice. You know, they get their chance to play out to a crowd. Yeah. It's really cool. I'm trying to get on that again. I've DJed at that place like 4 or 5 times now. I know 5 times, because I played at their New Year's event once. And I have... like, their big thing is, like, to make sure, because they have 2 different, like, rooms. They have Ruby and they have Liquid. Liquid's the main stage. Ruby's the side stage where DJs also play, and there is a bar, but it's a lot smaller.
Sure.
My first time playing, I sold, like, I think maybe, like, 10 tickets, and I managed to get, like, a good time slot and, like, in the main stage. Every other event afterwards, 1 or 2 tickets, and that's it.
Oh, man.
On the side stage. So, you know, like, when you're, you know, especially the DJ summits, you could tell the cloud chasers who they are because they're in Liquid, they have a fuck ton of friends that show up, and they can't DJ, and they cannot mix. You can be a bad DJ and mix properly. Song selection, mood, and vibes are, like, 2 things that, like, a lot of people starting can kind of fuck up on.
Yeah.
But, like, if you can't transition 2 songs and make it make sense, you're not going to go anywhere. I remember this dude, he had one of the best time slots, brought in, like, 30 people. That was one of the worst DJ sets I've ever listened to in my life. Like, he was off key most of the time, which, as, like, a casual listener, you're not going to be able to tell too much. You can sometimes tell, and when it's pretty obvious, like, sometimes if you shift to like a minor, like a C minor, and then go to like something that's like in the major key that like sounds a lot happier, you can tell then. But for most of the time, people aren't really going to tell the difference in, you know, for key mixing. But what you can tell is when you put 2 songs that aren't the same speed over each other, that are not getting the same vibe, trying to do like the stupid rhythm chopping thing into 2 songs that just don't thematically go together at all. And have still people in the crowd. Yeah.
Oh, no.
That's the clout chaser. Don't be the clout chaser.
The people who follow the cloud chaser are cloud chasing begets cloud chasing. You're going to get people who are...
So I think the biggest piece of advice, especially for people starting, do it because you love music. Like, do it because that's something that you want to do and you love music. For starting, like, you know, don't worry about spending thousands and thousands of dollars on huge CDJs. Like, bro, you need 2 channel mixer and that's it. You can get that for $100.
Yep.
If, like, you don't need a nice one. I've had my DDJ SB3 for like 5 years now, and she's only starting to give me a few issues now.
Nice.
Like, that's a puppy that's lasted me for a while, you know. And she cost me what, $250? Not bad at all. Yeah. I got that shit at my local Guitar Center.
Fuck yeah.
But, you know, don't focus on like the expensive equipment or the special tricks. Do it because you love music, and if you're looking to get into it, talk to people, like, you know, engage yourself with community. Like, again, I go back to the thing about, you know, show off your balls a bit. Like, you know, show that you have a little bit of, you know, you are bringing something new to the table and you want to just give a shot at it. You know, every DJ, you know, can blend together a lot, but there's only one Marshmallow, you know. Right. There's only one Subtronics. Like, try to make yourself stick out a little bit. Try to make yourself, like, memorable in some way.
Sure.
Down the line. Think about that down the line. Don't think about it right away. Think about it right now as, I love music and I want to share my love with music to other people. Well, how do I do that? Oh, well, I know this one friend that goes to the club all the time. Maybe I'll go to the club with them a little bit. Talk around, introduce yourself to people, especially with VR chat. All the people that are with staff have the fucking club name over their head.
Yep.
So go up to those people, talk with them, introduce yourself. Like, say, hi, I'm new around here, yap a little bit. Be okay to yap, if you're indulging yourself in an alcoholic beverage, take a cheers with them. If you're smoking, take a hit. If you're sober, have some water.
Have some water. Or just have a water cheers. That's fine. That's normal.
We don't bite.
Don't bite. Just be friendly and people don't bite, people like this. It is scary. We're all antisocial for the most part. We're in fucking VR half of our lives.
We're all in VR chat. Yeah.
But might as well just
speak for yourself.
They're not gonna it's VR. The worst they could do is hurt your feelings through words.
I'm great.
The most they'll do actually speak for yourself. I mean, to be fair, I still get like that.
Sorry.
I think RL is the same.
Talking with people and sorry.
I think RL is the same.
IRL, I agree definitely.
Take a chance.
Yeah, the most people will ever say is no, and then it's okay, I'll try again later.
Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of.
If you're gonna be a dick and be pushy about it, then they're gonna ask you to leave politely.
Right. Don't constant social awareness for sure. There's some amount of I feel like I can fall into the trap of I don't want to bother people, which can be weird, right?
I'm like that. I was like that when I was scheduling for my birthday party this year.
Oh my gosh.
It was mainly just for one person because everybody else there's my friend, and this one other person I have only seen them DJ once, and I really love their music and I've had for a few years. So asking them was very nerve-wracking for me. Just I don't want to bother you again because I asked you last year.
Yeah.
But it worked out, so
good.
Yeah, it's okay to be, be loud a little bit. Don't be too obnoxious.
Yeah.
Because we're all here because we love music and we love doing what we do. You need to make sure that this is going to be something that you're going to love doing. It's like with any other hobby. Are you going to like it? No? Okay, well, then you could say you tried it,
Yeah, and doing it for the love of the music is huge. Being able to share it with people because you could.
Yeah, I think my best sets recently have been my more chilled out down tempo stuff, and I think it's because I've really gotten into it and really you can hear just how passionate someone is about a certain style when they're really putting their all into it, and song selection and how they mix and it's insane to see how good people truly can be. I remember my friend's first set. They've been practicing it for such a long time, and this is the music that they love. One of the best sets I have seen in VR in a long time.
I love seeing people share. So amazingly talented people. That's what attracted me to this place in the first place. It's just seeing the talent that everybody has in 3D modeling and Unity work and DJing and socializing. Just so many talented people.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
I would say, too, I'd like to revisit something that you touched upon. There's only one of you. And I've listened to a lot of DJs.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of DJs, right? And not one of them sounds like another. You have an individual voice. You just have to learn how to speak, basically. Learn your grammar, right? And once you get that transitioning going and that flow, and you're able to tell your story, no one will sound like you. So we're here, and the doors are open, and don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to come poke.
Yeah. It's good advice.
Exactly. That is a great way of putting it.
Yes. Well, I don't want to keep you too long. It has been a little over time. I apologize that that we had to start like 20 minutes late.
I'm chilling, man.
Awesome.
I'm chilling.
Good. Well, anything you want to plug? Anything you want to share with the group? Share with the class.
I mean, I'm working on my music. Hopefully, sometime soon that'll get released.
I believe in you. You got this.
I don't know. I'm still keeping most of my socials on the hush for a little bit.
Okay.
Because whenever I actually want to start building the hype, I'll build it.
Be strategic about it. I can appreciate that.
Yeah. No, cool. I'm slowly starting. I changed most of my socials that I had before to Husky Forest, so I'm getting planned. So
there you go. Well, I'm excited to see.
Everything's it's already in motion. Type shit.
The grand plan. I'm excited to see it. I'm excited to see what you come up with and to hear your stuff when you get it released. Cool. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Hello.
Well, thank you so much.
And yes, we do have yoga classes.
We do have every time my tracking fucks up, I have yoga classes here on Thursdays. So I turn into a pretzel, and the common joke is, come to my yoga class, and you could do this too.
Yeah.
Thank you so much, Husky, for coming in. We would love to have you back for a second session at some point in the near future.
Thank you, Husky.
Yeah,
thank you.
Absolutely. I love yapping. So I love yapping.
Hey, me too.
Yapping round 2.
We love it. We love talking. All right.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah. It's if I can yap about music, I wouldn't shut up. I could talk about that shit until I die.
Yes, I'd love to pick your brain one of these days on music production stuff. But yes, thank you so much. Really appreciate you. This has been awesome.
For sure.
I'm you know what, you're not gonna do it, so I'm gonna do it.
Water. I need it again.
Make sure to add Husky to catch some of their sets. They are always a phenomenally high vibe, and I enjoy them very much, and I have for years. Thank you so much, Husky.
There's the plug. Love it.
She's the plug. She'll be my manager someday. Swear to God.
That's fantastic.
We do have some talk to have.
I was going to say, speaking of. Oh, that's funny. Very cool. All right. Well, I'll let you go. I appreciate your time.
Thank you.
I will stop the recording. See you all later in Discord. We're going to have somebody next week. I think we have Mouse next week, if I recall correctly. So stay tuned for that. Yes, and I'd love to have you back sometime. This has been great.
For sure. We'll see y'all around.
Yeah, take care.